Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka Homielander, and though I've talked about Black Noir in the TV show a hell of a lot, I've not really touched down on how he's portrayed in the comic books. I've just finished another read through of The Boys, and I have to say that this is probably one of my favourite comic book arcs of all time. So I thought I'd go into Black Noir so we can really get a grip on where this show could be going in the future. Now, in order to talk about him properly, we have to talk about Homelander himself. The comic culminates with him turning on his masters at Vought, and the villain causes a superhero uprising that ends with them surrounding the White House whilst he sits in the Oval Office holding the president's head in his hands. It's at this point that Mother's Milk discovers the darkest secret about the character and what really led to this moment. We learn that Homelander was pretty much a science experiment that was actually grown from Stormfront's DNA. Stormfront was just a kid that was injected with Compound V, but Homelander was supposed to be the refined version of what a superhero could be, and Vought worked on the character before he was even born. When Homelander's mother was pregnant, she was injected with copious amounts of Compound V and paid to carry the fetus to term. However, things went awry, and Homelander ripped his way out of his mother's abdomen and burned most of the scientists there with laser beams. Needless to say, Vought were completely terrified by this, and thus they raised him underground with a nuke beside him at all times. Vought had put a lot of money into Homelander, and they didn't really want to pull the plug on him just yet because of one incident, so they simply kept him in their labs, watched over him, and tried to impart on him social cues and how to interact as a human. After a while, they determined that they couldn't really blame a newborn baby for doing what it did, and put it down as a one-off mistake that wasn't really the child's fault. However, they also realised that they needed a contingency plan in place to kill Homelander should it ever come to it, and as a bomb isn't that practical, they decided to do something else. With Homelander's DNA profile, Vought built something new, something better, and that was Black Noir. Noir was the perfect clone of Homelander, and he didn't disobey the company. They trained him to be a master of martial arts, and imparted on him one job in life, which was to kill Homelander should it ever come down to it. Now, Homelander had no idea about Noir, and he was happy as he got to be in charge of the group. Mirroring this, Black Noir was happy as well, as he was with his target at all times, and should he ever get the word, he could complete the mission with ease. Homelander actually started to like Noir throughout their time together, as he saw him as a loyal lapdog that was willing to do whatever he said, no matter what. Black Noir played things perfectly too, and he even hid the majority of his power set so that no one suspected a thing. On 9/11, when the Seven were called in to help, Noir actually fell from one of the planes and didn't fly in order to keep up the charade. He was also given a jet by Vought, which he attempted to use in order to make it seem like he didn't have the same power set as Homelander did. However, Black Noir became more and more agitated that he was unable to carry out his one reason for being. Slowly, this itch scratched away at him, and the character retreated inside himself, refusing to talk to psychiatrists or anyone in general. Thus, he slowly went insane and decided to enact a plan in order to frame Homelander so that Vought could call on him in order to kill the character. As he was the perfect clone of Homelander, he one day dressed up as him and carried out several atrocities that included cannibalizing a baby and killing several people. Noir took photographs of the entire thing, and he sent them to both the boys as well as Vought. The CIA didn't really know what to do with them, and thus they kept them back as blackmail material in case they ever needed to bring down the Seven. As for Vought, they almost issued the kill order, but because Homelander made them so much money, they decided to classify it as an isolated incident. Noir then went on to rape Billy Butcher's wife Becky, who, yeah, look, I know she's called Becca in the show, but it's Becky in the comics, yeah, just before you start. Anyway, where was that? Alright, he impregnated her, and then the fetus ripped its way out of her womb, just like Homelander did several years before. Billy found Becky's diary, and as she says that it was Homelander who did it, the rivalry between the two began. But still, no kill order came. Black Noir was furious, and when you think about it, the character is pretty much like the hardest hitter in baseball that's been forced to sit on the bench when he could be out there playing in the field doing what he was made for. The character was the most powerful person on Earth, But because Vought wouldn't give the kill order, he had to hide this from everyone and seem like second best whilst Homelander paraded around like he was the king of the world. Black Noir was left with little options, so what he did next is that he sent the photographs to Homelander of him carrying out the atrocities, and this actually emboldened the villain. Homelander even says in the end that he would never have carried out any evil acts had he not believed that he'd already done them, and the villain is pretty much manipulated into causing his uprising. At the White House, Noir revealed this, and he and Homelander went head to head. Noir actually punched Homelander so hard that his jaw came flying off, and he managed to kill him, completing his goal. On the outside, the Marines bombarded the White House with firepower, and Noir came out smiling, laughing over finally getting what he wanted. The character could be seen holding half of Homelander in his hands, and he stood there with his intestines spilling out all over the White House lawn. Billy went over and cracked open his skull with a crowbar, and he pulled out a piece of his brain, saying that he hoped he was holding the part in his hand that contained the memories of his night with Becky. Butcher crushed it in his hands, and thus the character was dead, and so ends Black Noir. I'm not crying, you're crying, never forget. Now if you still haven't subscribed to the channel, then now's the perfect time to do it, as we make breakdowns like this every day, and you definitely don't want to miss them. We're also giving away 3 copies of the Marvel Phase 2 box set, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and also a comment below. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 30th of November, and the set will be shipped out from then, just in time for Christmas. Best of luck to everyone who takes part, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the video. Now, as for Noir as a character himself, as you probably worked out, he's pretty much the boys' version of Batman. Not only is he a master in hand-to-hand combat, he's also the strong silent type, has a jet, and yes, it does come in black. Noir also sticks his thumb up Huey's butt at one point and says, good soldier, which is a reference to The Dark Knight Returns. Now Homelander, Noir and Maeve pretty much make up the trinity of the group, but he actually has other inspirations that he pulls from. Weaponry wise, Noir has a lot of similarities with Deadpool, and his skin tight attire has been picked on purpose so that the pair resemble each other. However, whereas Deadpool is known as the Merc with the Mouth, Noir is the complete opposite, and through the hundreds of pages that tell the story of the boys, he barely even speaks. His outfit too has several similarities to Snake Eyes, and it's clear that he's riffing on a number of characters. Now in addition to this, I've always seen him as a sort of parody of Bizarro. In DC lore, Bizarro was pretty much a clone of Superman that was his opposite in several ways. Whereas Homelander is bright and bombastic, Noir is low-key and chilled, and they very much are opposites to one another, even though they come from the exact same genes. Either way, Noir is an incredible villain, and I think everyone who read the reveal in the comics can attest to it being a mind-blowing moment that came completely left field. Mind-blowing because of the brain bit, eh? Having that? Anyway, that should be everything you need to know about Black Noir in the comics, and whether the show goes this route or not is a different matter, but as it seems to be diverting from it, I thought I'd take some time to talk about what the villain is really like. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on Black Noir and the comics in general. If you enjoyed this video then please drop a thumbs up, and make sure you check out our full breakdown of everything we know so far about Season 3, which is going to be linked at the end. If you want to support the channel and get to see content early, then please consider clicking the join button below. You can also come chat to us on the Discord server linked in the description, or Heavy Spoilers on Twitter. Thanks for making it until the end of the video. You've been the best, I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.